The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Happy International Podcast Day, everybody! This is Am I Mental, your weekly live podcast where people share real stories about issues that impact their mental health and living with mental health issues. I'm your host, E. And with us, as always, are the co-hosts, Bexy.
Hello, everybody.
And C.
Hello.
So, today we're doing a little bit different. It had been requested that we do it again, and we figured that it being International Podcast Day would be a really good day to do it, which is the Share Your Art thing that we did spontaneously. How was that, last season or 2 seasons ago?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was just one of those days. I think it was 2 seasons ago because that was our cursed season where we couldn't keep a guest that was scheduled to save our lives.
Yes. The cursed season.
Yeah, so what we wound up doing, we wound up sharing poetry and writings, music, art, photos. Yeah, so let me see if I can actually pull up the share. I'm going to share the Discord server because some of the stuff that we're going to share today, it's going to have, we're going to share some photos. And you have to go to our Discord in order to see said photos. For obvious reasons. And sorry, I didn't prepare for this. I was busy trying to spam everybody else saying, hey, come on, get over here, come on. So
I need to get some more art stuff.
That's on me.
Well, I have
combed through, found some of my favorite poetry, found some of the poetry that I have written, found the first chapter of a novel I started to write in high school.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah, this should be interesting. This is stuff I haven't looked at in a very long time, so...
It sounds like it will be interesting.
Well, you know... There are some...
Really fast, John Bamber just asked when he is going to be scheduled. Dude, just let me know. We have a lot of days open this season. We really do. We're not really focusing on trying to book out full seasons as much as we used to. Because, well, shit happens. And it's kind of disappointing to try to scramble to get some at the last minute where we can look ahead and go, oh, we have a week to find somebody. You know, that's a little bit easier. But I just dropped the Discord link. And go ahead and finish what you were saying, Bex.
Oh, I said some of the things that I have found that I wrote when I was in high school are... Well, some of them are pretty funny. I went through a phase where my friends would just randomly give me a subject and try to stump me and tell me I wouldn't be able to write a poem about it.
I love some of those poems that you've written. They're funny as hell.
I found some of those because, of course, with me in my mind, I took the very weird, twisty, turny look at it,
and that's why we're friends.
Oh yes, definitely, because
twisty turny is all we really do.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why they don't leave us alone together.
Yeah, even although we could drag C into it too. C could get pretty twisty and turny too. C has got a wonderful, devious sense of humor. So yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the laugh right there too.
Oh, you really need to hear me when I crack out laughing. Like, I sound like a hyena. Or I just wheeze and I can't say a thing.
We've been there. We've been there.
I go into what I call full-on stupid seal mode, where I am rocking and clapping. Nothing is coming out of my mouth. I cannot physically laugh anymore. All I can do is rock and clap like that, like a Cielo from Pokemon.
Right, right.
It's bad.
Sometimes
if I laugh hard enough, I'll even snort.
That always cracks me up when people snort when they laugh. I die every time.
It's called snaffling, and it's a thing, all right? I may or may not be guilty of that a lot. That's when you laugh so hard that you snort, and then you laugh because you snorted, and then you snort because you're laughing, and it's just a vicious cycle.
All right,
an endless cycle.
So here's something my ex-wife, I have to bring her up for this because it was my ex-wife, my ex-sister-in-law, and her girlfriend. Got all that?
Yes.
I would get them all laughing where my ex, when she would inhale, she'd sound like a horn honking. My sister-in-law's girlfriend, who used to be one of my best friends, we had a falling out, and one day we'll probably repair it. It happens. It's cyclical with us. Is that we'll be really close for a while, and then we'll have some years where we're apart, and then we become really close again. It just is. But when she's laughing, she sounds like someone that's washing a window, the squeaking. So I would pretend I'm driving a car, honking the horn, trying to defog the windows, and they would just laugh so hard. And then her sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, she would not make a sound. She was laughing so hard. It was pretty awesome.
Sounds like it was awesome.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna start off the whole thing in our art exhibit Discord. Is that where we're going to be putting these things, or?
Yes.
Okay. Then I have some pictures from the lovely Missy that she took last weekend when she was in Florida. She's not able to join us tonight, but did want to share something.
Awesome.
So I am tagging her and sharing some beautiful pictures of like skylines and clouds and things. They are just gorgeous. And those are up on the Discord now for everybody to look at.
Let me get into the Discord again. And we have CJ in the chat and John. And John just said, I've actually done what I call 5-word challenges, where I give my friends 5 random words and she'd write something using all 5 words. I've done it a few times. It's pretty fun. If you give me 5 random words, I'll come up with something. So I said potato, tornado, elephant, Jupiter, trumpet.
I wonder what's going to come up. I'm curious.
So am I.
Oh, okay.
You challenged me to this kind of stuff. I'm going to try to make it difficult.
I'm going to go get some art things real quick.
Oh, wow.
Zoom.
Okay, so Missy needs to get on, I think it was FOAP, F-O-A-P, and sell these pictures. She can make some serious money. These are gorgeous.
Gorgeous? Okay. So can I I'm going to start on my end of this with a little bit of humor because, as I've mentioned, I don't know if I've ever read this on the air before, but I know that E has heard it. This is somebody tried to go very biblical on me and give me biblical things to write about for a poetry thing, and they spouted out, write something about the burning bush.
I love this one!
Let me remind you, my mind is twisted.
I love this one.
Let's see if I can do this without giggling.
It's twisted.
Let's see if I can do this without giggling insanely, because I want to right now. Okay, the burning bush. I dropped a cigarette in my hair, and now there's fire way down there. It's hot and burns and won't go out. It's made me holler, scream, and shout. My bush is burned, now can't you see? Moses ain't got nothing on me. Oh my god, I love that one.
I love it. And of course, the first thing that John put up was, there once was a man from Nantucket.
I saw that.
So it turned out, this happened while we're waiting. It turns out that a lot of people don't know the full thing about Here I Sit All Broken-Hearted. The full poem.
No, I didn't know the full poem until just a few moments ago.
Yeah, so the full poem goes, Here I sit all broken-hearted, tried to shit but only farted, sitting in a cloud of vapor, some asshole used all the paper. Some come here to shit and stink, while others come to sit and think. I come here to scratch my balls and read the poetry upon the walls.
Oh, John has replied. Okay, here we go. My mind is a tornado, with elephants and potatoes flying around, with no sense of order. I'm stronger than being a victim. I'll blow my trumpet loud enough so astronauts on Jupiter can hear how I'll overcome the confusion. I'll sort everything out, and I'll live to fight another day.
Nice. That was good.
That is really awesome.
And
okay, I have
really fast, just so you know, a listener just sent me a direct message. Got a present for me. It's called Name Your Story, a book from Lauren Cook. How to talk openly about mental health while embracing wellness.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I will, as soon as I get this, I'm going to stop my audiobooks and just dive right into this because, yes. That's kind of what we do here. So.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Whose turn is it now? I'm getting into my music if I have to.
If we're doing turns, then technically I think it would be C's turn.
What?
Okay, but if he is not ready,
I'm not ready yet.
I have something.
I'm working on it.
You can go first. I'm still looking for something.
Okay, that's cool. This is not my writing, but it's from something called the Book of Counted Sorrows. And it's always spoken to me, so I'm going to share it. What meaning is there in this life? What purpose lies behind the strife? Whence do we come where we are bound? These cold questions echo and resound through each day, each lonely night. and we long to find the splendid light that will cast a revelatory beam upon the meaning of the human dream.
Ooh, I like.
Would you like
That's
to know who
really
actually
good.
wrote that?
Yes.
Okay, that is actually, if I am not mistaken, written by Dean Koontz. He uses in some of his books. In some of his books, he will put before a chapter a poem or a saying from the Book of Counted Sorrows. I searched for years for this book, and it didn't exist. It was just something he did. And then finally, they did finally print a copy of it. I do not have it because it is stupid expensive.
All right,
So
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to play
Damn.
this to where not only the people on the podcast can hear this, but you guys will be able to hear it too. I know I can figure this out. You know what? I have an idea. Nope. Because I want to make sure that everybody can hear it, not just the people in the podcast.
right.
And I wonder, I'm going to do a quick little test to see if I share something to you guys, will it transfer through to the channel? And I better do something that I wrote so I don't get in trouble for copyright.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Quick little sample here, see what happens. I know you guys can hear that, right?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah, I can hear it.
And I see it streaming. Okay, awesome. So now I just need to find the song I just added. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and play that song. The song I wrote is called... oops. Rewind. This is called Just You. Yeah, so... Enjoy.
liked it.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you. It was actually inspired in part and as kind of a tribute to Lords of Acid. I'm going to upload that now and put it up on
Yay,
the Discord
confirmed!
server.
Yes.
Yes, Deverd has joined us.
Yay!
It's the Oh, yeah! Now I can see you.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. Last time, did I share the song I wrote for my daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
Not that I wouldn't mind hearing it again, but yeah.
Did I do the one that I wrote for my older daughter?
No. I think you did the youngest.
Ah, okay. That's what I'm going to have to do when it's my turn again. And everybody, please go to the Discord, drop stuff in the art exhibit, and we'll share it.
Any stories we'll share. When this is all over, I'm going to link up the Discord to the Facebook, so I can share everybody's arts and things on there. All the arts, all the time.
We posting some of mine in there too.
All the things.
Quite a bit. All the things.
Yes.
All the things.
Now, I don't usually write poetry. I just kind of write in general. And I have a letter to my older brother that I want to share that I haven't gotten to send yet and that I have to fix. Because as you will know, as you can see, whatever, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal.
Oh.
I don't mind sharing it, but it is long.
That's fine.
You take your time.
Okay. Start it off. Dear brother, hi, it's me, your youngest sibling. Last I heard about you, you were sick with COVID. I hope you recover well. This letter isn't meant to ask you how you're doing. It's meant to vent. I warn you, I will be brutally honest in this letter, and if you can't handle that, then don't read any further. For a couple years now, I've felt resent towards you. This is how I feel. Number 1, you said something really mean about me. It's been a few years, but I don't forget. Someone told me that when I had first came out as C, you said I was doing it for attention. Yes, your introverted sibling wants attention, not like I hate being in the spotlight or anything. Newsflash, brother, I don't want attention. I don't want to be noticed. If that's hard for you to grasp, then I can't help you. I would say our relationship, at least on my side, withered starting there. Number 2, warning, brother, this is where I get rather rude. Kay, my deceased sister, died last year. You know that. What did you do when your family, your mother, was struggling? You ran. You used the excuse that you want to start fresh from your problems. In reality, you brought your problems with you. You're a coward and a massive fucking hypocrite. Don't get me wrong, you're a good brother, very trusting and caring, a teddy bear, but that doesn't excuse anything. You took my nieces, nephews, and my best friend away. You're a grown man, you'd think you'd face your problems instead of cowering. Now the hypocritical part. You and your side of the family hurt Kay so much before she died. Calling her a junkie pushed away your family because she was here. You refused to go to the girls' birthday party, my youngest nieces, because she was there. Even refused to let the kids come over because of her very presence. Called her nasty names, tore her down when she was already low. She had an addiction for about a year or so, give or take a few months, while you had an addiction for decades. You want me to give you a taste of your own medicine? Want me to call you a cokehead, a druggie, a meth head, a tweaker, a bottle downer, an alcoholic who doesn't listen to anyone but himself, a line snorter? Doesn't feel good now, does it? Her self-esteem was already low without your enabler of a family cutting her down. Why, brother? Why'd you hurt her? Why'd you turn your back on her? You're not a terrible person, right, brother? What made you be so cruel to her? If it was your own issues, then you'd need serious help. Let me ask again. You're not a terrible person, right, brother? I find it funny that when it came to her, you had a holier than thou attitude, but at the same time did coke when the kids were at the house with you and would get drunk day after day, also in front of your kids with your wife and quote-unquote friends. Even tried pills before. You ran. When she died, you blamed us. It was our fault. At least we acted decently toward her, showed her love. Where was your love toward her while she was struggling? Where was your caring nature and big heart? She was your little sister, and you guys treated her like shit when she was going through it. That's fucked. Severely fucked. And then you ran. Not like you still had shit to pay off or anything. In a sick way, I hope you guys feel guilty and ashamed. Just like how I wish the same on her baby daddy. Feel guilty, you deserve it for being a shit brother. And then you try to continue to get us to move out there with y'all. Are you high? Drunk? What makes you think we'd follow you after the disaster in Oregon? If we left with you, we'd have been stranded. Yet again, leaving your family in the dust with no regard for us or your on a whim actions. And for the problems you face, you have enablers, and guess what happened to your problems when you moved to Oklahoma? Did they go away? Of course fucking not. At some point, you have to man up and face the music. Your actions have consequences, and about time they came along. This was the nail in the coffin. You put your family in harm's way, didn't even try to prevent getting sick. Didn't wear a mask, didn't fucking care. You used hand sanitizer, but how does that prevent airborne infections? Here's the pat on the back for doing the bare fucking minimum. The little girl got exposed and caught it. What does your family do? Go to work, even after you knew. I don't care that you're anti-vax. It's your opinion, but when your opinion puts people in harm's way, then I have a problem. You are so fucking airheaded and careless, and again, only care about your opinion. You may have some good traits, but I can see now that you're vile. You're a person who has no regard for his family. For his family's and his patients' lives. Does someone in your family have to fucking die for you to really care? How fucking cruel and careless. I'm highly disappointed in you, and you better hope to your God that nothing bad happens. Pray that I don't disown you. Pray that our relationship may heal, because at the moment, your actions have made me come to the conclusion that you aren't my brother. My brother cares about people. My brother is too trusting of people, who loves all his family dearly. You may reside in my brother's body, but you aren't my brother. You're a stranger in a body that is familiar. I hope you really think about what's written here. I won't hesitate to drop you from my life completely, only ever seeing you so I can see my friend and my nephews and nieces. But that's all. You won't see me as I grow up. You won't see me graduate high school and college. Won't ever be introduced or mentioned to my future partner unless it's absolutely necessary. Won't go to my future wedding, and especially won't see my future kids. You won't ever see them, and they will not know you exist until I have to tell them you do. Brother, I am being dead serious. I swear on our grandma's grave, you won't be in my life or will barely be in it. Think about this, all of this. I predict you will be more wounded from this than me. We never talk, so it's not going to hurt me much, but you watched me grow up. I know this will hurt you. Get angry at me, call me all the names you can come up with, talk nasty behind my back. But this is how I feel, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Deal with it. Sit on this before trying to reach out. Really think, brother. I'll be waiting. I hope you and the family recover well, and I hope those who aren't infected won't get infected. Take care. From your youngest sibling, C.
Wow. Like, all right, so I'm gonna get a little personal on this, and
Okay.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder or anything, because like
No, it's fine.
I get exactly
Go
where
ahead.
I get where you're coming from. Like me, with a lot of the information that I'm seeing lately, I'm a little vaccine hesitant. I was to begin with. You know, there hasn't been a 2-year study, there hasn't been a 5-year study like most vaccines have, but I have kids. My wife and I are vaccinated. We mask up. We use hand sanitizer. We do all the precautionary stuff that we can. We do as much contactless as we can. Because my kids matter.
Right.
I'm not going to push my personal hesitation on my kids. That's just... no. And one thing that bothers me, and I'm sure some other people agree, is that being hesitant of this particular vaccine is not the same as being anti-vax. A lot of us are fully vaccinated, fully support vaccines. We're just a little nervous about this one because it hasn't had the same round of testings that all the others have. And I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to try to get one out. I absolutely thought it was a great idea to try to get one out. You know, let it get through the first 2 phases of testing and come across, well, and then start the ramping up production. I agreed with all that. I agreed with Operation Warp Speed. I'm still hesitant, but my personal stance is that I'm more worried about the long-term effects of COVID than I am of long-term effects of the vaccine. That's ultimately where I land. And speaking of which, here we go. Every episode when we're alone. There is a new long-term effect for COVID that has been reported. Are you familiar with restless leg syndrome?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that may not be aware of it, basically if you don't exercise a lot, the more the more sedentary lifestyle you lead, the more your legs will start getting restless in your sleep later in the day. And like when you go to try to sleep, your legs are kicking constantly. And my wife has it. It's actually pretty hard to sleep next to her because of it. Sometimes I get kicked right where it counts, and she's dead asleep. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the things you do for love. Well, COVID has a new long-term side effect called restless anus syndrome.
What?
What?
Seriously, restless anus syndrome. It's where the
What does
last
that mean?
10 to 20 centimeters of your colon go spastic, and you suddenly feel like you have to, like you're going to crap your pants, even though you may not. And just like restless leg syndrome, if you're not exercising, it intensifies. It gets more intense as the day progresses. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what?
That
if you
does
want
not
to,
sound fun at all.
if you want to scare people into getting vaccine, tell them they're going to have a spastic colon. Tell them their anus will be restless.
It's the Olestra chip thing all over again.
It is.
Eat these, they're better for you. Oh, by the way, you're gonna shit yourself.
Like the sugar-free Haribo gummy bears.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know what's not good for your mental health? Having a twitchy anus. just
I don't think
saying.
that's good for any kind of health.
No.
No.
Why did you have to call into work day? Well, I'm sorry, but my anus won't stop twitching.
I'm literally calling out of work because of butt stuff.
Literally.
Oh, oh my god. Okay. Back to the serious. Well, not that wasn't.
Well, I mean, it's a serious thing.
It is a serious thing. We just have to make light of it because
Because every time our podcast we're left alone, it always tends to gravitate towards butt stuff.
Always.
Don't really know why, but it does.
It really does. What was funny is that the person that sent
asses are big in our family.
they sent it was a friend of mine that sent me the article and said, "Why am I thinking of you?" I'm like, "Gee, I wonder why."
Have you? I know you've seen the memes that people are making out of like the Magic the Gathering cards and the trap cards and stuff like that.
Yes, of course.
I saw one with a. I immediately thought of you, E.
Oh, here
had
we
a
go.
skeleton with flames flying out the back of it, and it said, "Damn, that ass can fart." I'll send it to you later.
That is awesome.
Oh, yay, Richard joined us.
Hello, Richard.
Just in time for the butt stuff.
Yeah, we summoned him.
Okay.
All right.
I have.
Do we have any shared stuff? Like, seriously, go to our Discord, drop some stuff in the art channel. We're monitoring it. If you don't want to share it there, you can always, email it directly to us. If you happen to have...
Oh.
You can DM it, whatever.
I have something from Deverne.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, this is called FedEx Canvas by Deverne Coleman. Everywhere I go, one magical thing stands out to me. The orange and purple letters, the green and purple letters, the sweet diesel smell they leave wherever they go, their colors so bright. It's just a big motorized rectangle. Somehow it is magical to me. It seems wherever I go, the colorful letters follow me. When I notice them in time, I always snap a photo. The simple truth is this man, for whatever reason, the FedEx trucks are special to me. That's really cool.
That is actually really cool.
I like that.
There are more on the way, and as I get them, I will read them.
Okay. Finding some old art.
I know that I shared the tier. I always share that one. It's like one of my favorite poems I wrote. And I wrote that as a freshman in high school. And even as I got older, I'm like, wow, that actually was deep, as opposed to the I'm 14 and this is really deep.
Right.
By the way, that is a great subreddit.
I love it, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I found a short story I wrote in high school.
Ooh,
Go for it.
Share if you want.
Oh, I'm fine sharing. It's called Desperate Measures. It may take me a bit to get through this, so bear with me.
Sadite.
Judy stood before the bathroom mirror, staring hopelessly at herself. For 4 months, she had been plagued by depression. Her mind wandered back to February 2nd, as it often did. "Judy, have you seen my other shoe?" Steve asked. Judy was sitting on the sofa with a bowl of popcorn watching the movie Jerry Maguire.
Great
"It's under
movie,
the
by the
kitchen
way.
table." A car beeped its horn outside the house. "Hold on, I'm coming," Steve bellowed. He was going to a basketball game with his buddies. For the past hour, after Steve had announced that he was going to the game, Judy had been having a weird feeling. The kind one gets when something bad is going to happen. "Judy, it's not here." "Try the dryer." "The dryer?" Steve exclaimed. "Just do it." Steve was Judy's twin brother. He walked past the TV and sat in the brown recliner. "Was it there?" she asked. "Yes. Allow me to ask, how?" "You never put your shoes away, and your dumb dog was trying to eat them, so I hid him from the dumb mutt." "He isn't dumb." "He's not smart, but he isn't dumb," Steve protested. The car outside beeped again. "Thanks for the shoe, Judy. I gotta go." The foreshadowing doom feeling came over Judy like a fog creeping over town without a word of warning. Steve jumped up quickly. "Steve, please don't go to the game tonight." "Huh?" Steve mumbled. "Why not?" I just don't want you to go," Judy stammered. "I feel like something bad is going to happen." "Judy, you're such a worrywart." "I'm not a worrywart." "Well, maybe I am, but I have a really bad feeling." That's nice, sis. You're totally nuts. Say hi to Mom for me, okay? I love you. Bye-bye. Steve said, putting on his coat. He opened the door just as the car beeped again. I'm coming, he roared. Steve, Judy started, but he was already out the door. Bye. Sorry, flipping pages here.
Okay.
Judy slipped out of her clothes and turned on the hot water in the bathtub. Once she found her desired temperature, she pulled up the tab on the faucet for a shower. She took showers often. Subconsciously, she thought she might be able to wash away her heartache for her brother. Judy stood under the gentle spray, letting the water run across her face. She leaned her head up against the shower wall. She thought of that night again. Judy, I'm home, Mrs. Morey called, coming through the garage door. Did Steve already leave for the game? Yeah, Judy answered back. He left about 15 minutes ago. He says hi. That's my boy, she says, putting her keys in her purse. What you watching? Interview with the Vampire. Sorry, Mom, you missed Jerry Maguire. So, Tom Cruise is still in it, right? Yep, and Brad Pitt and Antonio Banderas and Christian Slater. Said, God help me, my child's hormones are raging, she murmured as she flopped down by Judy. So why didn't you go to the game? I'm sure they wouldn't have minded giving you a ride. What planet are you from, Mom? Judy said loudly. Pluto. Well, I had and still have a weird feeling that something really bad's going to happen. I even tried to talk Steve out of going. I'm sure that went over real well. Yeah, about like the Titanic. Several hours later, and 3 more cruise movies later, Judy's mom snored in the ratty burgundy recliner. Judy, on the other hand, was watching Jerry Maguire again, although oblivious to what was happening on the screen. She rocked back and forth on the broken-down tan-striped sofa. She hugged her knees, watching the window when she could see the road. She set her forehead on her knees, her wavy brown locks blanketing her back and arms. It was late. Too late. Steve should have been home hours ago. Judy shivered and pulled a blanket around her shoulders, and she returned to her previous position. She eventually fell asleep like that. Later, she awoke to the sound of the phone ringing. Her mother was out of the recliner, approaching the phone. Judy was alert in an instant. Mom, she started. Don't answer the phone. Nonsense, honey. Don't, she whispered. Mrs. Morey picked up the receiver, yawning. Hello? Judy watched from the couch. She saw all the color leave her mother's face. Mrs. Morey stood stock still, eyes wide and mouth gaping. And she slowly hung up the phone, the voice on the other end still talking. Judy stood up and prepared for the shock of a lifetime, although she already knew what was wrong. Mrs. Morey turned around to face Judy. Judy felt a chill creep over her. Her mother looked at her sorrowfully. There's been an accident. Judy's bottom lip quivered, and she could feel the tears starting in her eyes. Steve is dead. Judy stepped out of the shower, toweled off and blow-dried her hair. And when she was finished, she put on fresh clothes and tied her hair back. After Steve's death, she didn't care what she looked like to other people. Mrs. Morey had asked Judy to pick up some groceries and then stop by the hospital to drop off her lunch. She had carpooled to work that day and had forgotten her lunch. And Judy's mom worked at the hospital as a secretary and was unable to leave work that day to return home and get it. She could have eaten at the hospital, except hospital food has a tendency to give her indigestion. Judy picked up the car keys from the kitchen counter, her mother's lunch from the fridge, and dashed out the door. Mrs. Morey was still handling Steve's death better than Judy. She knew Steve was in a better place and that he was happy. She knew that life would go on and that she had to be strong for Judy, no matter how much she herself was hurting. Judy pulled into the parking lot of Uncle Joe's grocery. She had to pick up several things: toothpaste, hamburger, bread, Special K. She walked up and down the aisles, picking up a few extra: corn pops, potato chips, and razor blades. Judy picked up the 4 items actually on her list and went up to the checkout. Old Joe was at one of the registers. Old Joe McFarlane, the owner. Why, hello, Judy. How are you doing today? I'm okay. Why are you working at the checkout? Oh, one of the whippersnappers called in sick, and I thought, what the heck, I'll fill in. Oh, Judy gave a weak smile. Joe ran the items over the counter, remarked on the hamburger, I could go for one of them. It's been a long time since I had a good burger. About 2 years, I'd wager. Back when Beatrice was still here, God rest her soul. Sorry, Joe. Nothing to be sorry about. She's with our Lord. She's a lot happier than she was down here. You have a good day, Judy. Judy handed Joe the money for the groceries. You too, Joe. Judy drove to the hospital, slipping the razor blades into the pocket of her ratty blue jacket. She had a very dumb idea to carry out. Judy pulled into the hospital parking lot, got out, locked the doors, and walked into the hospital. Her mother sat typing as she walked in. She sat at her seat, very proper, erect in her white uniform and her hair tied up in a bun. As she looked up at the approaching figure, seeing that it was Judy, and she said, "Hello, dear. How are you feeling?" "I'm okay," Judy answered, giving a small smile. "Oh, Judy, I haven't seen you smile in a long time." "Yeah, I know." Judy's heart was breaking. She knew her plans would really hurt her mother. She had to get out of there before she broke down. She had to get this over with. The sooner the better. And she couldn't go on any longer. "Mom, listen, I have to go to the restroom before I leave, so I'll see you later, okay?" "Okay, sweetheart." "Thank you for bringing my lunch. Bye," Mrs. Morris said, returning to her typing. Judy turned and sped quickly toward the bathroom. Several tears rolled down her cheeks, and she quickly wiped them away. Inside the bathroom, Judy studied herself in the mirror again. She reached in her pocket, rolling the pack of razor blades around in her hand. Her tears came back to her as she thought about Steve. They had done everything together since they were kids. They had shared everything. Their emotional bond was deep, like all twins, and she felt she could not go on. Judy pulled the razor blades out of her pocket. She removed one of the silver plates from the package and stared at it. She and Steve had shared their birth together. They had shared their life. And now Judy would complete the last step. Judy checked the stalls to be sure the room was empty. She slipped into one of them. She took off her jacket and sat down on the stool. Tears dripped onto her arms as she lifted the blade to her left wrist. And as she prepared to make the fatal slice, a wave of dizziness came over her. She dropped the razor and fumbled with the stall door. She managed to open it just before she blacked out. She tumbled to the floor, hearing someone begin to talk to her, but the voice was far behind her. Judy felt the sensation of flying. She was surrounded by darkness. She moved through the air like a bullet. Suddenly, a bright light appeared before her, and she realized that she was in the tunnel. Coming from that light, she could feel relief, happiness, unexplainable and immense joy, and she wanted to go forward. She could feel that Steve was there waiting. Her speed abruptly stopped, only a few feet away from the light. She saw something coming toward her. Out of the light came a brighter, glowing star-like object. Judy couldn't stop smiling. For the first time in 4 months, she was overcome with joy. The bright object came to her. It took a human form, and then the light faded from around the figure. Steve. Smiling ear to ear, he stood before her. Judy smiled even more, tears of joy beginning to stream out of her eyes. "Judy," he said, without moving his lips, "you have to go back." Judy was distressed. "No, I want to stay with you," she said in the same manner that he had. She knew all she had to do to communicate with her brother was to project her thoughts. He smiled. "Mom needs you." "But I need you." "Judy." "No, Steve, I can't go on without you here. Ever since you left." "But I never left you, and I never will." "But, Judy, you have to go home." "But why did you have to go?" "It was my time, sis, but it's not yours. You have to go home now. We'll eventually see each other again. But if you come now, you won't be accepted." Judy's tears of joy had changed to sadness, but she understood. "Go now. Remember, I'll always be with you in your heart. And one more thing. Take care of my dumb mutt for me." Judy laughed. "Bye," he whispered, leaning forward and kissing her forehead. "Goodbye. You're gonna be okay." "I will now." She reached out, taking Steve's hand. It felt alive, even more so than when he was alive. Judy could feel a force beginning to pull at her, but she was reluctant to go. "Bye." She let go and felt herself whiz back down the tunnel even faster than before. The light faded and everything was black. Yet she could still see Steve's glowing smile. Judy felt dull, the feeling of coming out of a drugged sleep. She heard someone saying her name, and she opened her eyes. Everything was fuzzy, but when her vision cleared, her head was between her knees, and she was seated on one of the porcelain toilets. Judy, are you all right? She sat up slowly. It was her mother. Are you all right? Yeah, Judy nodded. I came into the bathroom, and when I opened the door, you passed out. How long was I out? 5 minutes or so. I was just about to get some help. Mrs. Morris held the razor blade up. Judy, what were you doing with this? It doesn't matter anymore, Mom. I talked to Steve. What? While I was out, I talked to Steve. I'm gonna be okay, Mom. I really am. Oh, Judy, I hope you're telling the truth. Mrs. Morey hugged her. If I were to lose you too, I don't know what I'd do. It doesn't matter, Mom. I'm not going to go anywhere. And that's it.
I like that. That was really good.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Comments.
Oh,
Deverne, I wish I could write dialogue like that. It seems like it's easy. It's not. She's good. And also, I put in, it's really hard to make it organic and make sense. Dialogue's tough to write. It really is.
yeah, it really can be.
And then Deverne also said, yeah, and descriptive writing between it. It's all organic and stuff. Pretty impossible to be that good. And Richard, oh my god, this is some really gourmet writing. No lie. And then Deverne again, this can only come from experience. No way something that real comes from pure thought. Damn.
Yeah, that is actually
really
that was way before I the severe depression. Yeah, I had that back then, but that was way before I ever thought about actually taking my life. I think I wrote that in 1995. I was 15.
Damn.
Wow.
Let's see.
I told you. I found the I found the folder of high school Bexy writing.
Yeah, my old writings don't exist anymore except that one poem by memory. Wow. I guess it's my turn, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Alrighty then. So, when my first baby was born, I wrote a lullaby. And it became a trend where I started doing that for all of my babies. And when I say my first baby, meaning the first one that I fathered that I actually raised. In case people don't know, I did have a kid in high school. I gave her up for adoption to the mother's, then at that time, husband. It was an open adoption. Since then, back in my life again, we were actually pretty close. I have a grandkid. She's kicking around the idea of calling me dad, which, it's awesome. I don't really deserve it, but that's awesome. But I wrote this for my now 20-year-old. Didn't want it to repeat.
I liked it. It was really nice.
I really like it too.
Thank you. I'm always really nervous about sharing my music. Like,
And you shouldn't be, because your music is
Okay.
excellent.
and it's like I know that, but I'm vulnerable. You know, it's
I get it, because
like I can
I'm
talk
sitting
about my
here-
suicide. I can talk about my mental health all day long. My music, man, that is scary.
I mean, I can rattle off one of my poems like nothing else. Reading that story to everybody was nerve-wracking.
It was really good.
Oh man, that story got me so bad.
Javern just says you have talent, man.
Oh, thank you, DeVern. Actually, I had someone ask me to write a soundtrack for a comic book that they were writing. That way they had ambient music to listen to while, reading the comic book. I got 2 songs done, and then he moved. So,
Aww.
yeah. I still really love the idea, though. I would love to write a soundtrack for a comic book. Like, seriously, that is just so cool.
That would be amazing.
I'll share one of those songs when it's my turn again.
Okay. Well, I have some more from Javern.
Sweet.
Okay. Share some from him.
Okay,
I
this
wonder
one is
where
called
Austin is, because we need to share some of his photographs.
Oh, I know. Okay, this is called What Stands. On particular days, certain parts of the world will stand out to me. One day it might be the interstate, another day it might be the clouds. On other days, it may be the hills, or it may be the trees, or it may be the water, or it may be the skyline of our city. On particular days, it is often that at least one or at least 2 elements will be prevalent in my mind. Often one element will shine brightly as the others get grayed out. The world is the most majestic when you really look out for what shines brightly. The world is the most majestic when you look past what is grayed out. Notice the world reflected in the clear cylinder the semi is hauling. Notice the trucks passing on the highway. See the trucks cinematically curving on an on-ramp onto the highway. Notice their big wheels turning. The highway is highlighted. Man-made slopes freshly cut alongside it. A hawk flies out over it. A huge thunderstorm in the distance looks like a mountain of clouds. On some rare days, every single thing stands out at once. The world in my mind is wild.
I love these insights into your mind, DeVern. Seriously.
Yes.
That was amazing, DeVern.
I'm not the
That was
one with
amazing.
talent, man. That reminds me of, like, when I was told about how fortunate I was in the town that I grew up. The name's been dropped enough times, so I'll just say, Mount Shasta. So I really sat and looked at the mountain and realized, my God, it is breathtaking here. So, yeah, I kind of get where he's coming from with that. Like, sometimes things just pop out. Like, there are times, especially in the wintertime, where the moonlight will reflect off the mountain and it looks like it's been drawn in place. Like, it's not actually there, it's just a drawing.
Oh,
It is the coolest thing.
that's so cool.
And when it's really cold, you get the really high atmospheric clouds that contain a lot of ice, and you get moon, like 2 and 3 ring halos around the moon.
Ooh. I wish I could see that. It's just so hot where I am, though.
Yeah. I know where you're at, and it's hot.
Yes, it really is.
We're just basically on different sides of the oven.
Basically.
So there was a comet that came through. This was 96, 97. It was right before Hale-Bopp, which was one of the more famous comets because the thing got so bright you could see it during the daytime. There was one that passed really close to Earth. It was called Hyakutake. And it came the year before Hale-Bopp. And it was so close that when you looked at it, you couldn't see the tail if there was any kind of light pollution, but you could see the fuzzy ball that was the core of the comet. It looked like a really large blurry star, which was cool. So I drove up to this lookout up on this place called Castle Lake. It's a very famous local hangout. A lot of people camp out there. It's just an awesome place. When I got up there, I could see the tail. It was like if I held my arm at full length, at the head of the comet, the gas cloud shot out a thumb's width away from the middle of the comet, all the way around, and the tail went clear to the horizon behind me. It is, to this day, the single most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I watched my kids being born, and I'm sorry, that's beautiful, but that comet, that's not even once in a lifetime. That's like maybe once a millennium, or even rarer.
It really makes me want a telescope. Like, I just really want to stare at the stars. It's so fascinating.
Okay, I'm going to add some pictures of the comet that you were talking about into the Discord.
Oh, you found Hayukateki?
Yes.
Such a beautiful comet.
Oh. That is beautiful.
Like the tail, when I was out where there was no light pollution,
see.
It was just a little bit fainter than the Milky Way itself. But my God. Yeah.
I'm loving the artwork in the Discord, see?
Oh, thank you. There's some of my older ones.
That first one, that screams furry.
How'd you know?
I don't know any furries. Actually, what's funny is that more of the furries that I do know are veterans of the military, very strongly conservative, 2A supporting gun shooting, gay as they come furries. And they are the coolest people. Like, seriously. Like, a lot of people like seem to have a stigma about it, and I'm like, well, it's borderline, like they call it like borderline bestiality. It's like, no, it's too cartoonish and too what is that? Anthropomorphic. That's the word. Thank you. Anthropomorphic for it to be that. It's a fantasy. It's kind of like the new singing show, The Avatar.
Yeah.
Right. I've got 2 of my characters that I can put in there.
Cool.
Hold on, let me find it.
That's cool. Well, we have a couple of comments from Devern. When you were talking about the town you grew up in and everything, he was like, he gets it, he really does. That sounds like a painting when we were talking about, I think that was from when we were talking about the comet.
That either that or the mountain or the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there were so many things. Like, I would just be walking and I would just stop and look and just get my breath taken away. I miss that town. Unfortunately, too many of the wrong kind of people moved there, and the town it's dying. It is, like, literally dying. The population is dropping rapidly. My class was the largest class at the time going into high school at 100 students exactly. They got close to getting up to 150 students. The latest class that went in, I think, was maybe 60 or 50.
Wow.
And this is after they spent money expanding all 3 schools, because there was the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. And now there's, like, no reason for it, you know? It genuinely breaks my heart to see what's happening to the town. I mean, that's my home.
Right.
When they say you can't go home, maybe this is what they mean. Damn it, I'm about to cry. I miss my home that much.
Oh.
I miss what it once was. They used to have outhouse races during the 4th of July.
Outhouse races?
Yeah, that's literally what it was. You built an outhouse. It had to have a toilet. It had to be basically, for the most part, at least functional appearing toilet or outhouse. Didn't have to actually be truly functional. One person would sit in it and steer, and the other person would push it. And you'd go the length of the block. And we're not talking like full city blocks, because those are big. We're talking small town blocks. But
Right.
it's still, that's a pretty good, it's a couple, maybe 150, 200 yards. It's still a pretty good race. Yeah, we used to have outhouse races.
That sounds so fun.
We
That
used to,
sounds so fun.
oh, it was great. I barely remember it because it happened so long ago. Used to block off the bottom of a street, or block off a street, so that way everyone could go sledding because it was a steep hill. And you'd have a fire at the bottom, so people could stay warm. You'd go sledding all night, and people would have their, the street lights were on, they had porch lights on. Some people would just go ahead and have their cars on. And everybody was okay with it. You didn't have a permit for it. It's just, it was tradition. And because the blocks were so small, no one really cared. They just went a block down the road to go ahead and get to where they needed to go. And if they lived on that street, everybody knew who lived on the street. So it'd be like, oh, they need to get in. Everybody stopped, for a little bit and let this person through.
Sounds so nice.
Yeah, I miss small town life. I really, really do. I think C's up, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn on my light because it's very dark in my room right now. I can't read what's on my page.
And now I want to recite The Boa Constrictor by Shel Silverstein.
Go ahead.
Gosh, do it.
Did you guys tell me to do it?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right.
Why not?
All right, this is from Shel Silverstein, so we're giving full credit where credit is due. Oh, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor, a boa constrictor, a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor, and I don't like it one bit. Well, what do you know? It's up to my toe. Oh, gee, it's up to my knee. Oh, my, it's up to my thigh. Oh, fiddle, it's up to my middle. Oh, neck. Oh, sorry. Oh, heck, it's up to my neck. Oh, dread, it's up to my...
What one of my favorite Shel Silverstein poems was so I love it so much I memorized it.
Is it The Lion's Cage?
No.
Oh.
It's a very short poem. My beard goes to my toes. I never wears no clothes. I wraps my hair around my bear and down the road I goes.
Nice.
Oh my God. When is this from?
And then there's
3
The Lion's Cage.
99.
I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. So please excuse the handwriting, for it may not be too clear. By the lion's cage, I had my lunch, and I guess I sat too near. So I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here.
Like it.
Oh, I have another from Deverne too.
But it's C's turn.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a little nervous about sharing this one, but here we go. My body, a temple that is slowly being built back up. My body, it feels foreign. When looking in the mirror at my chest, it doesn't look right. My face doesn't match my body. There is no question anymore, just a slow acceptance. Just me being me. I'm actually happy with who I am, and that's quite a powerful thing. There is no love or kindness to the younger me. She hated herself. She wasn't happy. She tore herself down until she could no longer go on. She was weak and dying. And so I took her place and continued on fighting the pain. I took her place for our life to continue, so our body and our mind could survive. She died at 13 years old, and I rose from her grave, striving. I fought for us, for life, our life. And her death came my birth, with no name until years later. I lived underneath her name and memory. Our body and our mind felt bleak, like a glitch or static, moving through life as we find ourselves. We found him, the one that took her place. And he wanted to be happy. So he did what he had to do, shouldering the confusion and the pain, shouldering the internal hate. He's here today as me, in my body. He made it to 18, and he's finally starting to be happy, hopeful, starting to actually believe in himself. While he still cares about what others have to say, he knows what he wants for himself. He, while nervous for the future, awaits it with curiosity. She had no confidence, while he is happy with how he looks. He is happy and he finally feels free. And while he still struggles with the issues she had carried, he has come a very long way, from wanting to die every day to seeing the point in life.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear.
I absolutely love that, and bravo.
Dude,
Thank
that was
you.
amazing.
That is freaking awesome.
I know that a lot of our listeners, even though they're not here tonight necessarily, a lot of our listeners, when they hear that, they are going to be cheering.
Yes. Definitely.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Me too.
Love you, C. Seriously.
Seriously.
Just seeing how
Love you
far
guys,
you've
too.
come
Like-
is just amazing.
It's very nice. It's very nice actually feeling happy. It's quite a foreign feeling, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Once you get used to it,
Yeah,
We'll
Oh.
get used to it.
you will.
it's nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I teared up. You were reading that.
Oh,
So did I.
I
Devern's
was
complimenting you
tearing
too.
up too.
Yes.
Thank you, Devern. Thank you.
There's no doubt that you are loved.
No, no doubt at all. Okay. I have. Whose turn is it now?
I think it's your
I
turn.
believe it's yours.
Okay, well, let me do one of Devern's and then one of mine.
That
Okay.
works.
Break it up a little bit.
That works. I'd love
This
to
is-
hear more of his.
I know, me too. I've got this one and I think one other after that for him. This is The World is a Painting. From the happy little tree that sticks out from the hazy background, a bird is singing. From the busy interstate, 4 lanes of a higher intensity, the tractor trailers fly abruptly. From the beautiful mother handing juice to the daughter, cut from the same cloth, both ladies are smiling. From the tractor scrapers plowing the earth out from underneath itself, nature is weeping. From the many humans being imperfectly perfect in their dresses and jeans. From the skyscrapers standing tall and watching over it all, the tallest of them all clearly sees it all over the Missouri River floodplain and observes, our world is a painting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and he's
It was
You know,
amazing.
he's worrying about not fitting in. You
Yeah, you
are
blow.
so amazing,
Dude.
Devern.
Yes. Stop
Like,
downplaying
yes,
yourself.
So amazing.
You are amazing, dude.
Don't make me come and beat you until you realize you're awesome. Wait, that doesn't exactly work, but I'll do it anyway. No. I really won't.
I'll make you.
That can't make anybody do anything.
No.
So, going back to your letter that you wrote to your brother, there was something I wanted to say and I had forgotten about it, and it just came back to me. I was talking to a old World War II veteran who he started his first tour of duty ever was in Vietnam. Sorry, not World War II, Vietnam. And his last tour was Desert Storm. So he went to Bosnia. He went to Beirut. He went to Panama. He's been around.
Right.
He decided at the last minute to change. Like one of his friends wanted to get deployed out on a mission in Vietnam with his band of brothers. It's like, it wasn't just a platoon. It was a group of people, like his brothers. They really, really bonded super tight. They went through basic
Right.
together. They got assigned together. So they were really a tight-knit group. And I forgot why he said that he and the other guy swapped. So he stayed behind when they went on a mission, and it was one of those missions where it's like, most of you will probably die. Many of you may never may never come back. Everybody died that day. Everybody.
Wow.
And he survived. And he had serious survivor's remorse and grief. Understandably so. I mean, those were his brothers. He put in his mind, he was supposed to die. It should have been him. And it was one of his sergeants said something to him that really made a lot of sense to him, which is, it simply wasn't your time. Like, if it was your time, something random would have happened and you would have died that day anyway. And he would have survived if it wasn't his time. It was his time. And he was supposed to be there, not you. And he really took that to heart, and it's helped him out in a lot of places in life, not just military. So,
wow.
Yeah, and like when his wife died, he was able to make peace with it pretty quickly. It hurt, but he was able to make peace with it because it was her time. It just was. They were in Iraq, they were outside one of the hotter areas as far as the battle went. And how did he put it? They were staying in this old abandoned building that they had been staying in, that had been being used daily, and there was always guards there at all times for weeks. Well, one guy rested his hand on the door jamb, and all of a sudden his whole arm got blown off by a booby trap that they never knew was there.
Oh my god.
When they were leaving, there's convoys, weeks and weeks and weeks of convoys all leaving. And they had National Guard to assist. They were making sure that people were going orderly and blah, blah, blah. And the guy just happened to step on one spot that no one else stepped on for 3 weeks. There was a landmine there.
Wow.
When it's your time. And it's pretty powerful. And I can see how, that's definitely a helpful way to be able to handle that kind of stuff. Because, like me, I probably would have been like, wow, that could have been me that stepped on that.
Right.
Well, if it's not my time, it wouldn't be me.
That makes a lot of sense to me because actually, before my sister had passed, she'd gone through quite a few things that should have killed her but didn't. For example, she got into a car accident when she was heading back from the hospital because she got beat up. And they put her on medication. She hallucinated and fell out the window.
Ooh.
And broke quite a few things in her body. And during that time, she said to my mom that she saw a white light, that it was beautiful, that everything would be okay, So when it did happen, hearing that now, it makes a lot of sense,
Yeah, it's kind of like the lottery, I guess. If it's your time, it's your time. Except that this lottery, everybody wins. I guess.
Everybody wins at some point in their life.
Yeah, well, like on Fight Club, which, God, I'm so disappointed you didn't like that movie. On a long enough timeline, everybody's survival rate becomes 0.
Right.
Okay, so now, Bexy, it's one of your writings, isn't it?
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I don't remember exactly when I wrote this, but it must have been close to probably my senior year in high school, just judging by my handwriting and what I was writing in. So this is just called Me. The inside voice calls, beckons, telling me to do wrong, telling me to do harm. I don't like the blackness. The emptiness is profound, like music floating in the air, completely invisible, but also everywhere at the same time. The spark inside ignites and burns, fed by anger and insanity. The fire grows and consumes everything in its path. Nothing is sacred anymore. All of hell has frozen over. The demons have escaped. Chaos and anarchy are the new leaders, and nothing makes any sense. I don't like the blackness, the emptiness, the rage, or the cold. I don't like who I am, and I scare myself.
Yeah, that's every time I have a suicidal episode.
Yeah.
So that hit hard.
I haven't seen that in many, many moons, honestly, until a couple weeks ago when I came across this binder full of stuff, and I was unpacking some boxes. So,
All right, so this is a song I wrote. Just by the title, I'm sure you can guess where my mind was. It's called Bleeding Out. This is the very first time I actually put my voice into a song.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one.
that was the second song that was starting to bleed in.
Wow. It's really good.
Thank you. That's one of the ones that's scariest for me to share. The twisted part?
Fantastic.
The twisted part? That was my 20-year-old's favorite song until the lyrics hit. Once she realized what I was saying, you're like, oh,
Right.
wow. I was like, yeah. I was never comfortable with you listening to it, but I wasn't going to hide it from you either. Yeah. Yeah. I like the song.
I like it.
You can hear my love
too.
of layered minimalism on that.
Oh, I love
like
the toe
this.
beans. Sorry.
The toe beans.
Yes, toe beans.
I actually saw a thing where someone took a Furby, made a mold out of it,
Oh no.
and then filled it with baked beans and a type of like resin.
No.
So when it was done, it was a fur bean.
No.
They even decorated it with the eyes, ears, and eyes, mouth, and nose parts and stuff.
Oh,
I
wow.
appreciate the pun, but
Yeah,
that's a curse.
that's
Give it to
exactly
someone for Christmas.
yes.
that's exactly how I
for
thought about it
Christmas.
too. I was like, "Wow, that is cursed."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was just too much. And see, I'm over here in Toe Bean land all happy singing Toe Bean to the tune of Jolene. You know? I'm saying toe beans, toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. I'm begging of you, no attack my hands.
I love that.
Okay.
I think it's
I have.
C's turn, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't have any writings. I just have drawings now.
That works.
Okay,
Well,
so
if you want to do those, I have another one from Deverne. And this one's already making me giggle, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
Oh no.
Okay. Let me find my center and calm myself here.
Do that whole acting scene.
yeah.
Two cats smoking. Can you imagine two cats smoking? Oh my god, I think they're choking. Oh my lord, can you picture our cat doing that? Our big fat cat. Oh, I think loneliness has me under its spell. I see a cat from hell. Just what do you think it must want from me? We'll just have to see. Oh my god, the big cat's smoking. Oh my god, he really is choking. He does it all right in front of me. He's really free. I must be committed to lunacy. There is no other explanation, you see. My mind puts it all in front of me. It has to be lunacy. It has to be. I promise I'm not smoking. You'd think I did by the way I'm talking. My mind puts it all in front of me. I'm really free. It has to be.
That was like Dr. Seuss 2.0. I loved it.
I know.
Yes. That was wonderful.
Amazing. I love it.
That was amazing.
I could see it as a picture book, you know?
Right?
That you just leave on your coffee table. So guests be like, what the hell is this? Read it and be like, oh shit, this is funny. Oh, that was great.
I've loved everything he shared writing wise, photography wise. If he took his writings and matched them to his photographs,
Oh God,
he
yes.
could make a hell of a coffee table book.
Oh God, yes.
I know he could. He could sell tons of copies. The
For
talent
sure.
is there.
For sure.
Amazing.
Of course, now I have toe beans stuck in my head. Thanks.
Look at the toe beans.
I love the toe beans.
Toe
my-
beans! I love that riff. That riff is so good. Like the heartbreak in it in the original.
I know. I
really like that song.
I love the song, and I think everybody tries to go all out on that, but nobody can sing that like Dolly did.
No, that is Dolly's song. I mean, well, Pentatonics.
Yeah,
But they did it
really
with her, so that made it even better.
Right.
Like, oh man, that song gave me chills. But that's pretty much Pentatonics, period. Even songs I don't like, I like when they do. Like that Radioactive song.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate that song. I love what Pentatonics did with it.
Yeah. That's
Kinda-
a really good. Yeah.
Kind of like Leo.
Oh my god, how much do I love Leo?
I don't like Adele's Hello. I love Leo's cover of it. Oh my lord.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that the Adele version's bad. It's really good. It's just that monotone chorus line really grates on my nerves. Like it just something about that tone just ugh.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's almost like the emergency broadcast system. That
Yes.
ah! Make it stop!
This has been a test of the emergency broadcast system.
Oh, we haven't
Yes.
had a test in a while here. We've had too many disasters and actual needs of it.
I know, right?
Evacuations. We have floods sometimes, not this year, but we've had them in the past. We get tornado warnings. We don't get watches. We get warnings. And for
I get both.
for the rest of those people that don't live outside of California, which this is something uniquely to California that I'm aware of. The difference between a watch and a warning is a watch is the conditions are ripe for tornado, but no tornado has been spotted yet. A warning is we have eyes on a tornado on the ground. We have seen it.
Yes.
Yeah, we have seen it. There is a tornado. Yeah, we don't get there might be a tornado.
Oh god.
Toe beans. God damn it.
I have cursed you with toe
It
beans.
is stuck in my head now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to do toe beans, toe beans, toe beans, toe beans. I'm begging of you, please no scratch my hand.
I love it.
I love it too, but it's cursed.
Oh, I have another poem from the Book of Counted Sorrows.
Oh, I love
So
that.
this is another Dean Koontz thing. In the fields of life, a harvest sometimes comes far out of season. When we thought the earth was old and could see no earthly reason to rise for work at break of dawn and put our muscles to the test. With winter here and autumn gone, it just seems best to rest. But under winter fields so cold, with the dormant seeds of seasons unborn, and so the harvest does not hold hope, until the harvest does hold hope that heals all bitter lesions in the field of life, a harvest.
I like it. Dean Koontz is so damn talented.
Yes, he is.
And he can creep me out like none other. Sorry, Stephen King, you can scare the shit out of me. I'm not even going to lie, you can. But Dean Koontz does it much more reliably because, for me, most of what he writes, The Bad Place is an exception. It's, this could happen if the conditions are just right. That's what makes it terrifying.
Yeah. There are some amazing writings. And like I said, I searched forever for this freaking book because I'd see it in every novel of his that I read. The Book of Counted Sorrows, The Book of Counted Sorrows. Where can I find this? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, you can't.
Except in his mind.
Yep. His wonderful, corrupted, evil mind.
Oh, I love
Man,
his
it
mind.
looks like we gotta dig it out of his mind.
Where basically every story of his starts out in Laguna Niguel.
Yeah.
I get right. You write what you know, and that's his house, basically.
Yep. I mean, he is... Wow. He's one of my favorite authors.
Same.
For sure.
My absolute favorite doesn't even live anymore, though.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Robert Jordan.
I was going to say, I know who that is. Okay. I am gathering poetry books. Be scared.
I was hoping for more participation tonight. But you know what? The weather's really nice. It's gorgeous out around here. I don't blame people.
Oh my god.
If I didn't have this commitment, I'd be outside playing in the beautiful weather.
I just found something written. Oh crap, thunder. Jesus.
I hear it. Send it here, please.
I'd send it all to you if I could. I just found something ridiculous written by my cousin, who will remain nameless. If he ever hears this, he'll know exactly who it is.
He's going to reach out to you and be like, "You should have used my name, damn it."
Probably.
Give me my credit!
He gives no fucks, but this is... I stand out of glee as I take a pee and wonder what they see in me. They don't ever see my kind and gentle sides. They only see me with a side of fries.
Oh, that's great. That's Shel Silverstein right there.
Adult Shel Silverstein, apparently.
Right. Well,
I actually do
Shel
have-
had some pretty twisted stuff at times.
Yes, he did. He did. I admit it. The Giving Tree, for example. I mean, I'm sorry, but that book is twisted in my opinion.
Yeah. I love how people are like, "Oh, I love that book. It's such a great book."
Yeah.
It didn't end so well for the tree, now did it?
Tree.
Oh.
I'm going to be like the Lorax. I'm going to speak for the tree.
Right? I am the Lord.
We're gonna break that guy's knees.
I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongue, and I'm asking you now at the top of my lungs.
All right, so
I'm sorry. I can quote Dr. Seuss, so.
I used to have the entirety of Fox and Socks memorized. And when I say entirety, I mean including the entire back cover and the ISBN number.
Wow.
And my favorite poem from it, it's not a poem, they're tongue twisters, but they were still very poetry-like.
Great.
Through 3 cheese trees, 3 free fleas flew. While these fleas flew, breezy breeze blew. Freezy breeze made these 3 trees freeze. Freezy trees made these trees cheese freeze, and that's what made these 3 free fleas sneeze.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My response to that, toe beans.
Toe beans.
Toe beans,
Yeah.
man.
New goo, blue goo, gooey gooey, blue goo, new goo, gluey gluey, gooey goo for chewy chewing. That's what that goo goose is doing. Do you choose to chew goo too, sir? If sir, you sir, chew sir with that goo goose, sir, do sir.
Gesundheit.
I love tongue twisters. I worked really hard to master a lot of them in my life. And when my now ex-wife, she introduced me to Fox and Socks, I was like, "Oh, Dr. Seuss, yeah, I'll read this to your kid." Fucking evil. It is one of the hardest books I have ever read. And that's why I wouldn't give up on it. I will master this goddamn book.
I have such a love of poetry and things like that. And it all started, when I was little, and I read Dr. Seuss, and then as I got older, I read Shel Silverstein, and then I, as I got into high school, I started reading other stuff. I started reading Shakespeare and Dickinson and Robert Frost and so many other people that I can't even name. And I started writing stuff when I was very young, but it's always been something I've loved.
What's funny is I was more likely to write than I was to read.
Yeah. One of my favorite Shel Silverstein poems is called Magic. Sandra seen a leprechaun. Eddie touched a troll. Lori danced with witches once. Charlie found some goblin's gold. Donald heard a mermaid sing, and Susie spied an elf. But all the magic I have known, I've had to make myself.
I remember that one. That's a really good one. Was that off of Light in the Attic?
Where the Sidewalk Ends.
That is Where the Sidewalk Ends. Okay, we have Where the Sidewalk Ends. We don't.
I have a Light in the Attic too.
I like. They're both so good.
Well, my favorite one from A Light in the Attic is, how many, how much? How many slams in an old screen door depends on how loud you shut it. How many slices in a bread depends on how thin you cut it. How much good inside a day depends on how good you live them. And how much love inside of a friend, well, it depends on how much you give them.
That's very true. We didn't deserve Shel Silverstein.
No. The man was...
And the one thing that he hated the most? He never made it as a musician. He wanted to do, singer-songwriter stuff. And I'm sitting there going, but, dude, you, inspired generations.
Generations of people. And still are to this day.
Yeah, even though he's gone, his influence lives on.
I mean, listen, this is also another one of my favorite poems because you think it starts off, I don't know. I love the way he wrote it. It's called Nobody.
I know
Nobody loves me.
I've heard this one. I don't remember it, but I've heard this one.
Yeah. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. Nobody picks me peaches and pears. Nobody offers me candy and cokes. Nobody listens and laughs at my jokes. Nobody helps when I get in a fight. Nobody does all my homework at night. Nobody misses me. Nobody cries. Nobody thinks I'm a wonderful guy. So if you ask me who's my best friend in a whiz, I'll stand up and tell you that nobody is. But yesterday night I got quite a scare. I woke up and nobody just wasn't there. I called out and reached out for nobody's hand in the darkness where nobody usually stands. And then I poked through the house in each cranny and nook, but I found somebody in each place that I looked. I've searched till I'm tired, and now with the dawn, there's no doubt about it. Nobody's gone.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's one of those mind fucks too. I love it.
Yeah. I love a good, make you think piece of writing.
Me too. Wait, am I up?
I think so, yes.
I was like, if you're not ready, I can read another one.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, this was a friend of mine down in San Diego. If he's listening, you'll remember the song because you requested me to play it almost daily. This song is called Overdose.
Okay. Very nice.
That it was supposed to simulate like a siren from like an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
And the string orchestral part was basically the spirit leaving the body. If you notice when that the song got really dark, and then like those extra layers kept coming in more and more bass, then they seemed to start glitching out. That was basically the point where he had overdosed and he was losing his soul, his body. It was giving up. I have a whole video concept I want to do with that.
Okay, I have some new things I've been writing.
Oh, sweet.
Hey.
So this one's kind of short, and I don't really have a name for it, but one look, and you think that she's powerless and pale, as fragile as a flower, beautiful yet frail. And she whispers so softly, my gentle nature doesn't mean I'm weak. And she bows her head and knows they will always think she's meek. What they do not realize is, yes, the fragility is real. Like a bomb, though, not a flower. So be careful how you deal.
I like that.
And here's the other. I wrote this one the other night. As a child, I wished upon stars, dandelion puffs, eyelashes, and more. As an adult, I want to believe wishes still come true. As a child, the naivete was astounding. The thought that hope alone could make it happen, make me loved, accepted, and valued. And as an adult, I learned the most important person to give you those things is you. Love, accept, and value yourself, even if you feel no one else will. When you know your worth, the right people will know it too. Sometimes a few very special people see it before you do. And when they do, they help you to realize it too. It takes work, not wishes. That's the difference between childhood and maturity. Finally realizing you have to do the work.
Damn. And I'm looking at the extra drawings that C dropped in.
Oh, I know. Aren't they awesome?
Nice cock.
I found another writing from a bit ago. Oh, what were you saying?
I just saw that nice cock, bro.
Yes. Yes. Nice cock, bro.
I always love...
That used to be how you cleared out men's rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
Anyway.
Okay.
So you found another writing?
Yes. It's literally just called writings with a question mark. There's a person whose world is crashing, whose perception is warping, who can hardly see the light down the tunnel. They're falling down an endless void of pitch black, where the monsters lurk and whisper sweet lies in their ears. Crack! They lay against the cold stone floor, staring up, watching as the light dimmed. The monsters lay in wait in the shadows, watching their every move. The person rises slowly, looking all around them. Shards of glass were all over the blackened stone. They looked down at their hands and found gray static in place of their skin. They whip around, confused and afraid, and find themselves looking at someone who is covered in gray static with only a few bits of their physical being visible. The person leans in closely, pressing their hands against the glass. In a moment of silence, the person drops to their knees, hands covering their face. The person in the mirror was them. They cry out, screaming up at the void and its entrance. With tears flooding their eyes, they look at the ground and pick up a piece of the glass shards. They looked closer and saw a tiny fragment of the person that once was. They'll try to put the pieces into place, getting themselves back together. Some shards were too fragmented to try and fix. With their shattered mind and being, they find ways to climb out of that void, to reach the blinding light awaiting. As they climb, the monsters pounce, whispering white lies to them once more, tainting their mind with a hate for themselves and things they've done that they can never take back. The guilt and shame get overbearing. They fall once again, with more cracking and more piecing together. Attempt after attempt to escape, with the monsters sabotaging the climbs. They tried so many times, and with a sense of hopelessness, they began to climb once again. The monsters pounced once again, except now the person could bear their words. With some monsters latching on, they climbed. Their palms were sweating, arms tiring, with a sense of overwhelming numb washing over them. They reached for a ledge and slipped. They caught themselves before they could fall, anxiety spiking, and losing their fight, they climbed to a large enough ledge to rest. There they pressed themselves as close to the darkened stone walls as they could. The few monsters clinging on encouraged them to fall, to fail. Scooting closer to the edge, they peered down. Darkness, like a deep pool of still black water. Monsters peered right back, trying to claw their way out of the darkness. The person then looks above them. The light was closer now, more drawing. They pull away from the ledge and stare at their hands and arms, static with some fragments of their old self. They look all around their body, so many pieces gone. They began to realize that the person they once were had been long gone, replaced with the shell of the lively soul that once was, and filled to the brim with that static. They had decided then and there that they'd rebuild themselves and find ways for that shell to crack, for them to be comfortable in their own skin. Though the torments of the monsters that stayed continued, and with the drawing of blood only spilled through pain, the person had made it far. From being shattered countless times to healing the staticky remains of their body, they have grown from where they used to be. Their monsters will always be there, as well as some static, but they want the light they had only dreamed of seeing. Their shattered mind calls for the end of the fight to give in, and as much as the person wanted to stop the fight, they knew they couldn't yet. On the ledge, they told themselves that they'd give themselves a fighting chance at life, but once that fight ends, they feel the need to stop existing to let themselves die. They closed their eyes, uncertain and nervous, and laid down. They curled up, listening to the monsters whisper in their ears once more.
That was really good. I particularly liked your little play with words about the bits of the human being being visible. That was so clever. I loved it.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
Truly.
Thank you, Bexy.
We got all sorts of talented people. Not only on the podcast, but we have talented listeners.
Oh, yeah.
We are fortunate.
Definitely.
We are fortunate.
We are very fortunate. Even more
Very.
fortunate that we have not been caught by the quick digesting gink.
By the what?
It's another Shel Silverstein poem. It's called Quick Trip. We've been caught by the quick digesting gink. Now we're dodging his teeth, and now we're resting in his intestine, and now we're back out on the street.
Yeah, that's Shel Silverstein. Do we have any more writings from Deverne? He got really quiet in chat. Oh, there he is again. I hope this isn't weird, but the way C says thank you is nice. A nice sound. It is.
It really is.
There's a real sincerity that comes through.
Yes. I just in general, I like the sound of C's voice. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
especially when he's laughing.
Yes. He's got a great
Or-
laugh.
Yes. Or my favorite thing is that look on his face when he realizes for like the first time that somebody is truly accepting of him and everything that he is, and then that light that comes into his eyes is amazing.
That pure joy.
Oh yes.
There's no other way to describe it. It is pure joy.
Yes, it definitely is.
I love it. It makes my heart happy.
Oh, glad it can make you happy.
Well, this is all about me, technically, so I'm glad that it makes me happy, too. No.
I'm glad it makes you happy, too.
Wait a minute. I'm getting a phone call. Why is Macy's calling me? What parade? They want to use my head for a parade. The Macy's Day parade, they use giant inflatables.
Yes, we know your ego is out of control.
Oh, I have it fully in control.
Can you fit your head through the door?
I had to cut notches in the wood, but yeah.
I am really glad to be one of the people that you hate less than most.
I love that joke so much. And DeVern also confirmed with Steve's voice. Yes, in general, just a magic voice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bet you had no idea that this would be the way that things would go down when you joined the podcast.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I told you I was going to work on you. And Betsy told you that she was going to work on you. Have we been helpful?
I would say so.
Awesome. You're worth it.
Definitely.
The podcast in general, like online and in Zoom meetings, I actually talk more, I found.
Nice.
I actually put myself out there a bit more. So I would say you guys in the podcast in general has been helpful.
That is great because you have this amazing mind. You are clever and sharp and you get things. And nobody, people might not realize that if you just sort of stay quiet. And I can say that because I stayed quiet a lot and I didn't, I would be afraid to make certain comments because I'd be like, ooh, no, people might not like that. I better not do this.
Yeah.
And then you just get to a point where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about butt stuff on the air on my podcast because I can.
Right?
I'm sorry. I just had to.
No.
I plucked the low-hanging fruit. It was just there.
Well, butt stuff tends to be low-hanging.
Yes, it does. Especially if there's an hemorrhoid. Full-on laughing seal.
Oh, God. Here we go again where we shouldn't.
She's cracking up laughing.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, that's wonderful to see.
It is. It is.
She's laughing so hard.
This is what
Are you okay, Bexy?
the best part is.
No.
That this is a good way to help her fight against thunderstorms. So now we know what we need to do. Make her laugh her ass off!
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'll calm down in a sec.
No, it's good.
Oh,
That was wonderful to see.
Truly.
the last time I laughed that hard was a couple weeks ago. Me and the roommate were playing with Adam, and we made him laugh so hard he snorted. And then right after he snorted, he goes, "Oh my God, I sounded like a pig."
You can't help but love that.
Oh, it was so great. And then, of course, he kept
great.
laugh snorting for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well,
At least
yeah.
I didn't go into a snorting fit. I just laughed really hard.
But, kids will be kids. They see that, oh, this got a reaction. Let me go ahead and do it again.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
And at least I did not expel anything through my nostrils this time.
Yeah, I got one of my friends multiple times in a single day. Like 3 times in a row. 3 texts in a row. It's like, damn it! I even knew not to look this time.
I always know not to look, and I look anyway.
That's the best part. Yeah, you shouldn't look when I'm texting. It's usually a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not that you shouldn't look. It's
You shouldn't look
you
while
should not
drinking.
drink anything when you text.
So far, I haven't had anyone complain about hot coffee. I'm glad. I don't want to hurt people. A little, being a little uncomfortable. That's funny.
I have snorted iced coffee through my nose, though. Thanks to you.
Oh.
There goes DeVern. He's kink shaming. Y'all have a kink for butt stuff and sharing it on the podcast.
Specific kink.
Yeah, but you know what? I have one thing to say about that in particular. Pot, kettle, you're here enjoying it.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if we have anything else to share. I mean, this has been
One more before we could end it.
Okay,
I actually just found it looking through my old Spanish notebook journal that I converted into a regular journal.
DeVern. Oh, if you knew me, LOL, I wouldn't kink shame that. Oh, you're into German things. Which is weird. I'm German and I'm not into German things.
Should I read it?
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
read
yeah,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it is called depression. Depression is a formidable foe lurking, waiting to strike. Some days, the thick fog that shrouds everything in a deep, deep winter is light. Lighter than it's ever felt before. Bright light breaks up the fog in little bits. And in those moments, in those days, I feel like I can actually breathe. I can actually gaze into the future and see all the things my mind desires. I actually have the strength and the will to fight another day. Once those days come to a halt, the fog becomes thicker, thick enough to struggle to breathe, and becomes dark, pitch black almost. Those days are the days where every moment is hard to live through. It constricts, it suffocates, and the emotional pain is what is most remembered. The depression and the unwanted thoughts and feelings about the past become a mental war, a war that I have yet to fully end. Those days, the monster is intertwined with me. It's an illness that is unwanted. Those days are when I question the inner fight. Why? Why continue? Those moments are crucial, dangerous, and if left alone, when they happen, death seems like the only way out. This feeling is rooted in hard, even on better days. The mind strays toward death, toward swallowing a shotgun barrel or tying a scarf, pants, or a bedsheet around my neck. The dark moments, though, Those thoughts start to become a plan. Those moments are when I can picture myself using whatever method I can get reasonably. Those moments are when the physical fight happens, the hardest of all struggles that plague my mind. My body has to fight the mind's urges, the taunting little voices that tell me, "You're tired, let's rest. You're better off dead, and most of all, we can't do this anymore." We're tired. So tired. Tired can't even say the word without choking up. Once these days and the fog fluctuates. Sometimes it may be less thick, a little lighter or heavier. During the majority of days, especially those with no distractions, the tainted thoughts sprout out, wishing that I could disappear, that I had gone through with my attempt, that all the self-hate and despair could go away. The self-hate taints the body and mind. It tears me to shreds. Even on the better days, the hate lingers, not even able to stare at myself in the mirror without feeling uncomfortable in some way.
I swear you should read chapters of my life.
You have so much power in your words. I don't know if you even realize it.
You're very, very good at putting your emotions to paper and pen.
Very.
Like
That I
we were
can
sitting
see.
there chuckling and laughing, and now we're like somber.
Silence.
But no, seriously, it was like, again, it was like you were reading chapters of my own life. Kind of like that one song, "Killing Me Softly" with his words.
Right.
That is such a good
Something
song.
I feel a lot of people can
It is.
relate to.
Yeah. Depression, that's the silent killer. They say diabetes is the silent killer. Depression is, because we're told to stay silent.
Yes. Too many of us for too long have been told to suck it up and deal with it. Man up.
Pull yourself
Pull
up by
yourself
the
up by your
bootstraps.
boots.
Yep. Sometimes you need a little help.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay.
Definitely.
Hey, we have a shirt that says that.
Yeah. Now I want one that says toe beans.
Beans. All caps.
And they should have C's toe bean illustrations on them.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
In
God!
color, though.
And you know what? It has to be by Dolly Parton. P-A-W. Pardon.
Yes.
P-A-W-R-D. Yeah,
Yes.
Pardon. God damn it. Now it's stuck in my head again. I just got rid of it.
I love it. This is the equivalent of me shooting fluid out of my nostrils because of you. I'm just going to randomly,
That's fair.
over time, like, toe beans, in a text to you, and you're going to be like, damn it.
That would actually work. I'm not even lying.
I know.
That'll get me. Might even actually cause me to legitimately shoot the fluid out my nose.
I have I know somebody who watched, the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes. I love that show.
Oh, okay. They're, Colin and Brad from that show did a special called Two Man Group. One of the improv games that they did was called Mousetraps, where they proceed to blindfold themselves, take off their shoes and socks, and act out this scene on the stage that is covered with mousetraps that have been sprung. And to make it even more dangerous, there are mousetraps that are, hanging from ropes.
Oh,
That they can
jeez!
walk
Oh my god.
at the level of their faces, their chest, and their groin.
Are you sure this
no.
isn't Jackass you're talking about? Because this
No,
sounds
this
like
is
Jackass.
not Jackass. This is Colin Mockery and Brad Sherwood, and it is called Two Man Group, and it's on Amazon Prime, but I think you have to pay for it. It's like $2 or $3, but this scene is well worth it. I watched this with a friend who laughed so incredibly hard at this scene that the mere mention of it will send them into a fit of giggles and their whole face will go red. All you have to do is walk by and be like, "Mousetrap."
Oh, that's awesome. So, Cheers. You remember Cheers?
Yes. Where everybody knows your name.
Yep. So, see, I don't know if you know Cheers, but Cheers was a sitcom about basically about a local bar called Cheers in Boston. Lot of actors and actresses kind of got their start from there. You know, Woody Harrelson for one, who I'm pretty sure you know of now. Ted Danson he didn't really get his start there, but he really exploded in popularity because of it. Kirstie Alley took off from there. Rhea Perlman took off from there. There are so many on there. And then, of course, there was Cliff Clavin, who is the voice of almost everything fucking Pixar. You know? He is the voice of Ham on Toy Story. He's Mac on Cars. God, he's in every single one. He was the School of Fish in Finding Nemo. He's in every single one. So, in Cheers, he was known for telling tall tales. And I always started off with a little known fact, and he'd just go off from there. And sometimes he was pretty good about the stories were funny and they were like accurate, and some of them are just like that's pure bullshit.
Right.
But the way he told it, sometimes it was hard to tell which was which. Well, he decided that he was losing his friends and losing favor with them because he told too many tales. So he decided to go and find someone to give him electroshock therapy and follow him around with electrodes in him. So every time he would start to tell a tall tale, the guy would administer a mild electrical shock.
Okay.
And every time the shock happened, he did this whole wince thing, and it was so believable. It was so funny. And it got to the point where he disagreed with the guy that was giving him the shocks, and the guy got mad at him because he got insulted and started shocking him repeatedly. Just, oh yeah, we'll take this. Then they wrestle over the button. Oh my god. My dad had recorded that episode on our VCR. We had to leave the room because we were laughing so hard, our stomachs hurt, our faces hurt. The muscles in the back of our head were hurting from trying to pull our smiles back that far. We hurt. And we watched that scene so many times. And it got to the point where, the very last part, he's like walking along and all of a sudden someone just shocks him. He's like, all right, who's got the button? And this guy that's always not liked him, this old man, he's all, dance, mailman, and hits the button again. It was so funny that all we had to do was just be walking through, like I walked through the room and I just kind of glanced over at my dad and be all, dance, mailman, and he'd just start busting up. It is a great scene.
I love the stuff like that. I mean, to this day, I can still walk by my friend. Mousetrap. Instantaneous.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I love that kind of stuff. Like where something is just so damn funny. WKRP.
I remember that.
The turkey drop. Based on a true story. The way that they portrayed it was so believable. Like it was actually happening. Basically, there was a scene where WKRP, it was a sitcom about a radio show. Or a radio station. And they had the field reporter who was out, and there's like this car dealership or something, and they were starting to do this turkey drop as a giveaway, and they were dropping live turkeys out of a helicopter, thinking it would be okay. Turns out turkeys aren't very good at flying.
Yeah.
And when they're panicked, they don't try to fly. And the turkey started smashing into everything, bouncing off of the cement in the parking lot, smashing windshields, denting hoods of cars. Oh, God. Like, they don't show any of it, but you just hear the chaos and the guy trying to report. It is so damn funny.
Oh god. Poor turkeys.
Alright, so there was one more song. It was actually a challenge that someone gave me. They told me to learn how to do side chaining and challenged me to actually make a dance song. So I present to you
Okay.
Bounce.
Okay, seriously, what the
That
hell?
was good.
What was that?
Okay, go ahead, see. Sorry.
So that was really good.
Thank you.
I said, seriously, what the hell can't you do? Because you write awesome music, you've written awesome stories, You can sing. You can rap. You're a damn good father to your kids. And you're just a fucking wonderful person. So what the hell can't you do? Honestly. I fucking love you.
Find my happiness. If you really
I
want
give
to
you
know.
mines.
No. You found yours. I'm so fucking happy for you.
I know. I'd share those.
I have a plan, and I think it'll help. I think it'll work. I really did a lot of soul searching, with some therapy and stuff, and I think I found my path to find my true happiness.
Good. Because if anybody deserves it, it's you.
I'm just an asshole.
You're the best asshole I've ever met in my entire life.
Yes.
Now take that out of context.
You're the perfect asshole.
You are the perfect
I can throw
asshole.
weird compliments your way all night, you know.
I know. You get me. That's what's awesome.
You get me right back.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're cut from the same rectal skin.
Of course we are.
Back to the butt stuff.
I swear we were, even though I'm a little bit younger, I think we were, we were in the same hive mind somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And C's a part of it. C.
Oh yeah.
C gets us.
Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Butt Stuff.
Oh God. Now we're gonna have a little chocolate starfish pin.
I'm going to send everybody butthole chocolates for Valentine's Day.
You mean Hershey Kisses?
Huh?
You mean Hershey Kisses?
You can actually have chocolates molded after your own anus.
No, thank you. I'm not surprised.
That, no.
You know, one thing I've been wanting to do there's maybe one or two people in my life where I would like to get a mold of my phallus and send them a chocolate version of it so that way they can eat my dick.
You can actually send people a bag of dicks.
Oh, I know.
And tell them to go eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, they're little gummy dicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a big bag of dicks.
We have Dickie's Barbecue. We get to eat saucy dicks.
We have that too. But no, I mean, seriously, I actually carry this thing into stores, and the looks that I get from little old ladies is absolutely amazing. This was a supernatural thing. It's a big bag of dicks.
Uh-oh. Come on. B-bod.
Do you know who came up with that?
Probably Jared.
Richard Spate Jr.
Oh, dude, I mean, he has that look, too. Like, you just look at him, and you're like, you just take one glance, you're like, dude, you are so full of shit.
He's really so nice, though.
Oh, I'm sure he is, but he's also full of shit.
Yes, completely.
Just because you're full of shit doesn't mean that you're not a nice person.
True. Very true.
Just because you're an asshole doesn't mean that you're not a nice person. You just have an asshole side to you, that's all.
All I have in this thing is masks. I have like 5 masks in here. Oh, lip gloss and hand sanitizer.
That is a very interesting combination. That's going to be the name of my next band. Lip gloss and hand sanitizer. Alright. There was a little game. God, we should play it sometime on here. Which is, if you're going through the check stand at Walmart, what 3 items would you bring to frighten the cashier without saying a word?
A baseball bat, Duct tape. And super glue.
Ooh, that's a good one.
A log of bologna from the deli, the entire log. A bottle of lube. And rope.
And what?
Rope.
Ready? This one is
Okay.
a pregnancy test, a wire coat hanger, and a shovel.
Fuck! Oh my god, that's... I thought mine was really bad.
You can also substitute the shovel with a mop if you really want to.
Oh.
Dang. You know what? Now I want to play that game that John started. You know, like, maybe we should do that tonight. I'm going to be up for a while. My kids don't ever go to bed at a reasonable hour. You know, the 5 random words and try to make a quick short story out of it, like a paragraph.
Oh, I could... That would be cool.
You going to be up all night, C?
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna be doing some things.
Sudite. You do your things. You'll probably be watching Vexy and me going back and forth with it. Oh,
Probably. I
Fun.
will watch from the sidelines.
fun fact about English, how many people misuse when to use me or I when it's more than one person. There are proper times where you're supposed to say, like, I just said Bexy and me. If you would normally say me without anybody else, you just still say me. It's really that simple. Like, will you take me to the store? Will you take C, Bexy, and me to the store? That is proper English.
Yes.
Right.
My God, it is so irritating when people are like, "Oh, can you take my brother and I to the store?" What? Like, it is such a pet peeve of mine. Like, other people have problems with fingernails on chalkboard, or one of my favorite things to do to make people uncomfortable, which is to chew aluminum foil. Yes, I literally will chew aluminum foil. I don't have fillings.
There's only one other thing you can do that will make me cringe harder than anything, and I'm not telling you what it is.
You know, I'm eventually going to stumble upon it. Maybe.
It's an odd thing.
Aren't they always? Yeah, when C was reading about the broken glass in that last one, and that hit me right in my phobia. My completely irrational fear. You know what I'm really sad about? My comic strip got taken down.
Aww.
The entire site just they went belly up, so there's no comics left.
I don't think having a fear of shards of glass is irrational, honestly.
To the point where I nearly faint just being around it or seeing it. Like, I can't even, like, if a glass breaks in my dining room, I can't go barefoot for days until it's been swept and vacuumed multiple times.
I would say that your reaction to the fear is maybe a bit irrational, but the fear itself is not. Broken glass hurts when it enters your skin and cuts you.
Yeah, well, I know where it came from. 2 instances. Wow, the scar's actually gone now. There used to be a scar right here on my forearm where I had glass go this far into my muscle.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I had that little, almost completely invisible, like nearly microscopic glass splinter in my fingertip. And I couldn't get it out. It took me like an hour of working with tweezers to finally get it. Because it was there was no depth perception because it was so clear. It's so hard to see. It was like, oh my God. So those two things together, yeah, they pretty much ruined me for glass. Although I can say, with pride, I shoved my hands into Glass Beach to help fight my, it's the exposure therapy thing.
Right.
I don't want this to keep affecting me like it does. And, oh God, it sucks so much. It really does. But one of my comics I had with the irrational fear, So I had these two guys. There was this one that I called the shapeless beanbag chair that smells like old foot cheese. And then I had the tall one that was kind of the asshole and looked like a vibrator. With a cowlick. Those were the two characters. They were both named Jess, which is kind of funny. Because like, for a long time, people couldn't figure out if the one on the left, the beanbag chair one, was a guy or a girl. So I played with that. To this day, I haven't told anybody what that character is. I know exactly what that character is. So I just played off of it. But they were talking about irrational fears, and in one of the comics, because I was talking about, I realized I have an irrational fear, so I made a comic about it. And the beanbag chair had an irrational fear of broken glass. You write what you know. And then the other one was like, "What's your irrational fear?" To the tall, dildo-looking one, and he's like, "I have an irrational fear of ninjas and cinnamon raisin oatmeal." And it's like, wow, those are pretty irrational. Like, but I don't think you really have much to fear about ninjas. All of a sudden, a ninja pops up with the bowl in his hand. It's like, us ninjas really like cinnamon raisin oatmeal. And the guy just poof, gone.
That has to be one of the most specific irrational phobias.
Just put the two together, and he was like, "Nope, I'm out. Peace."
Aw.
Yeah, he noped out. He got on the nope train to Nopeville.
I think our last comment was from Deverne. He said, "If y'all want to Zoom, I'm around."
Man, that would have been great a little bit ago. We have been on the air for 2.5 hours, and it's about wrap-up time.
Yes, it is. I was just wondering. I was like, did we kind of just segue off into something weird? And
Well, gee,
Kinda, yeah, we went on a pretty big tangent.
we're unsupervised.
we were unsupervised. Now we know. Don't leave the three of us unsupervised.
Yeah,
It will get to butt stuff.
continue.
It's just
it all-
faded.
That butt stuff. I just got a DM on Twitter that said, "Did you just say a log of bologna loop in a row?"
Now someone else is going to see that and be like, "What in the fuck is that all about?"
Make it curse and actually, make a hole in it.
Oh, just make it a meme. It's all my bad. It's call it my weekend plan starter kit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God. All right, so next week we got Bob.
Yes, we do.
I don't know Bob. This is one of your
Yes, you
guests. I do.
Oh, you know Bob. Bob is a returning guest.
Oh, yay! I like returning guests.
I think I know who you're talking about, Bexy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has informed me that no more anonymity. So Bob was Mr. W.
Ah!
Yeah?
Sweet.
Yeah?
Would be absolutely thrilled to have him back.
Yes.
Mr. W. Thank you. Thank you. I understand why you were anonymous before. It's terrifying. It is.
Yeah, totally. But apparently there has been some, I don't know if there's been breakthroughs or other issues, but things have happened and they no longer feel that they want to be anonymous. So
That's good. That's healthy.
yes, I thought so too.
So if you're listening right now, sorry I dropped your name. That was what was in the calendar, so I didn't know. But
Okay.
honestly, seriously, kudos to you. It sounds like you're getting into a much healthier place.
I hope so. Honestly, I do.
Definitely.
So
All right. So until next week, I'm E.
I'm Bexy.
I'm C.
And I'm not going to use that stupid pun this time. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.